Welcome to the Ultimate Sports Podcast. Today's Wednesday, May 8th, 2019. Today I'm going to recap last night's classic Game 7 between the Blues and the Stars. Look ahead to tonight's Game 7 between the Avalanche and the Sharks. Then we'll go over the NBA playoff games from last night. Look ahead to tonight's two playoff games. Go over last night's baseball results. Look ahead to today's game. Some of them are underway. Do my MLB mock draft, and have my best bet of the day. All right, we'll start the Game 7 Classic. Blues over the Stars, 2-1, double overtime. This was an outstanding hockey game. The Blues got on the board first on a goal by Vince Dunn, his first of the postseason, 1-0 Blues. About 2 minutes later, Mazzagrella's fourth of the postseason, first of this series, ties up at 1 apiece. No goals in the second, no goals in the third. Overtime, no goals, although there were several chances for both teams. And then finally, in double overtime, 5 minutes and 50 seconds in, Patrick Maroon, the St. Louis kid, scores the overtime winner to send the Blues to the conference finals for the second time in 4 years. Gives them a 2-1 victory. Wow. Just incredible job by the Blues, and this team has a lot to be proud of because they were in last place in January, and here they are in the conference finals. No matter what happens the rest of the way, their season has to be considered a success. I thought the Blues would be good this year, but I certainly did not have them in the conference finals. Meanwhile, Dallas, they had a good season by my standards and my expectations. I didn't think this was a playoff team before the year. I thought they were a little short defensively, which their defense has exceeded my expectations. Although I did think Miro Heiskanen would be good. Issa Lindell's somebody that really has grown into a solid player for them, and they just couldn't get it done. Ben Bishop had a good year. He obviously was ready to go in Game 7, but they fall short, and I think Jim Montgomery has proved to be a great hire. I think this is a team that's heading in the right direction. And they have a lot to be proud of, so I have to say that their season's been a success. I'm going to do a thing on the podcast maybe within the next couple weeks after the conference finals is over and go over which teams' seasons were failure, which teams were success. And my rule is that you're judged on preseason expectations. If you make an in-season trade, if there's injuries that set your team back and you exceed expectations in light of it, then that obviously changes the outlook of your team as well. So we'll evaluate in both hockey and in the NBA in that respect within the next couple weeks on the podcast. The number one star of the game, obviously, with the double overtime winner, Patrick Maroon. Number 2 star of the game with 29 saves on 30 shots, Jordan Binghamton. Number 3 star of the game with 52 saves on 54 shots, Ben Bishop. He single-handedly kept the Dallas Stars in this game. There were a period where they were outshot like 22-3 within parts of the second into the third period, and Bishop just kept that team in it. He gave them a chance. But lo and behold, Maroon and the Blues advance, and Dallas goes home. Tonight at 9 o'clock, NBCSN, Game 7 between the Avalanche and the Sharks. I don't know who's on the call of this game yet. If I had to guess, I'd say Kenny Albert, Eddie Olczyk, and Pierre Maguire, just like last night. If not those three, then maybe Albert, Micheletti, Maguire, or maybe the three that have been calling it for the majority, which is Chris Cuthbert, Micheletti, and Maguire. Gonna see if there's anything on here today, whether who's calling the game tonight. Doesn't look like it right now that it's been announced, so we'll find out later. But if I had to make a guess, I think that Kenny Albert calls the game with Joe Micheletti and Pierre Maguire. Wouldn't rule out Eddie Olczyk either. So you have the Avalanche, you have the Sharks, two very good teams, two goalies that are playing well in Philip Gaubauer and Martin Jones. It's remarkable how much Jones has turned around his play after a shaky start in that Vegas series and how he really has just turned it on since then and looked like the guy that carried the Sharks to the Stanley Cup final a few years back. And Garbauer last year was named the starting goaltender for the Capitals in the playoffs, and they're down 2-0 against Columbus, and then Barry Trotz goes with his regular starter and Braden Holtby, and that changed the Capitals' outlook for that playoffs, and they ended up winning the Cup. Meanwhile, this year, Garbauer for Colorado has just been very good and has kept the Avalanche in the series, although Nathan MacKinnon has been probably the best player in the playoffs that's left and is a big part of what the Avalanche have done. Meanwhile, San Jose's loaded offensively. They have Timo Meier, they have Thomas Hertl. Joe Pavelski looks like he's going to play, so that's good news for San Jose. They have Joe Thornton. They have Logan Couture. They have a bunch of stars. And then Erik Karlsson is someone that's regressed defensively to the point where somebody's going to overpay him and then he's going to end up being a huge bust, a la Kevin Shattenkirk with the Rangers a few years ago after he was great for his contract year with the Blues, then was traded to the Capitals, and then Rangers overpay him in free agency, and he's been a big bust. So it kind of reminds me of that a little bit, although Karlsson's obviously a better player than Shattenkirk. And then you have Brent Burns, who has been just sensational and has been the best defenseman in the series. Mark-Edouard Vlasic has stepped up too. He scored a couple big goals for San Jose to keep that game alive for them. So, lo and behold, San Jose's home. The Shark Tank is a place where teams are intimidated, especially in a big game. I thought Vegas was sort of intimidated in Game 7 there a few weeks ago. I think the Avalanche will be ready to go, just like Vegas, although what intimidated Vegas was that San Jose got hot, and they eventually took the lead in that game, and they eventually tied it. Sharks win in double overtime. I think it's going to be a classic game, very reminiscent of that. I'm going to say 5-4 Sharks final, so the same final score as Game 7 in the Vegas series, except I say Logan Couture scores your game winner in overtime. So give me the San Jose Sharks to advance to the conference finals to take on the St. Louis Blues. NBA. 2 games last night and 2 blowouts. Raptors over to 76ers, 125-89 to take a 3-2 series lead. A masterful performance by the Raptors. Kawhi Leonard was great. 21 points and 13 boards. Pascal Siakam looked healthy. 25 points and 8 boards. Marc Gasol had 11. Kyle Lowry had 19. Danny Green had 17 with 5 3-pointers. Off the bench, Serge Ibaka had 10. Meanwhile, for Philly, Joel Embiid just isn't healthy. 5 for 10 shooting, 13.6 boards. Tobias Harris, 6 for 12 shooting, 15.6 boards. Ben Simmons was a no-show. Jimmy Butler had 22 points, 0 for 2 from 3, 6 for 16 from the field. He had 7 assists as well. Off the bench, Mike Scott had 10. And just the debacle of a performance by Philadelphia. And pressure's on them in Game 6 in their home building on Thursday night. Nuggets over the Trailblazers, 124-98. Denver takes a 3-2 series lead. Jeez, I really whiffed. I really thought that Portland was the better team going into the series, but looks like I'm wrong. Nikola Jokic has been the best player in the series, not Damian Lillard. Jokic, 25 points, 19 boards, 6 assists. Jamal Murray's had a breakthrough in the postseason. He had 18 and 9. Gary Harris had 16. Paul Millsap had 24, which is amazing to me. Off the bench, Malik Beasley and Will Barton each had 10. Meanwhile, for Portland, Damian Lillard had 22. CJ McCollum had 12. Off the bench, Zach Collins had 14. And Rodney Hood had 14. Enes Kanter's just not healthy. And that's been part of why Denver has the 3-2 series lead. And he is also being exposed by Jokic in this series, in which I thought Steven Adams was going to do to him in round 1, which I was so off on that. Oh my god. Can't believe how off I was. on this side of the bracket, other than Nuggets in 7 over San Antonio. I've been way off on that side of, or that quadrant of the Western Conference bracket. We have 2 games tonight, 2 Game 5s. 8 o'clock TNT, the Celtics and the Bucks. Milwaukee's up 3-1 in the series. Marv Albert, Chris Webber on the call. The Celtics look like a team that's flat out quit. Kyrie Irving looks like a superstar that has one foot out the door to Manhattan and is poised to join up with possibly Kevin Durant to come to the New York Knicks. I think that's what he has on his mind and not trying to get the Celtics back in the series. He's somebody that I've said on this podcast several times that cannot be the best player on a championship team. To me, he's more of a Robin than a Batman. And he's really let this team down. And I think the thing that's ultimately let the Celtics down was the regression of Jason Tatum. And I thought Tatum was going to blossom into a superstar and contend for the Most Improved Player award with Pascal Siakam and others before the year. I did not think D'Angelo Russell would be in that category in the preseason. Well, I certainly felt that way about Siakam, and I was right about that. But that was the biggest Celtics downfall to me, the Tatum regression, although Irving's getting the majority of the blame, and rightfully so, because, like I said, it looks like he has one foot out the door. And this reminds me of LeBron last year with Cleveland, in a sense. And even LeBron, when he was with Cleveland the first time before he left to Miami. There's other examples that I've seen with this. Dwight Howard with the Lakers. We thought this way with Carmelo Anthony with the Knicks, but we were proven wrong as he ended up re-signing with them before getting traded a few years later. But anyway, the Bucks are the better team. The best player in the series has been Giannis Antetokounmpo. Chris Middleton stepped up. George Hill and Pat Connaughton have stepped up better than anybody could have imagined. So, give me Milwaukee to close out the Celtics tonight. I think it's over for Boston, and they're facing major changes this offseason to the point where I won't be surprised that they won't even be a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference next year. So, give me the Bucks to advance to the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time in a long time. And 10:30 TNT, you have the Rockets and the Warriors. Golden State's a 6-point favorite. By the way, Milwaukee's favored by 8.5, and I think they're going to cover that with ease. So, Kevin Harlan, Reggie Miller on the call tonight for Rockets Warriors. I think Harlan is, by the way, has been so fun on this series. He's really enjoyed calling one of the more high-profile series of the playoffs. Now you could argue this is the best series of the second round thus far with the Denver-Portland dud from last night. Every single game in this series has been close. I think that the Warriors are going to come out with something to prove, especially Kevin Durant, because there's this perception that he has one foot out the door. And that couldn't be more false, because he's been the best player in the playoffs thus far, along with Giannis and along with Jokic. And he really has single-handedly, in my mind, kept the Warriors in these games. Stephen Curry's just not healthy. He has the broken finger that he's been playing with. Klay Thompson, something's up with him. I don't think he has one foot out the door. I know he's in a contract year, but I just think Klay Thompson is something's just wrong with him. He has to be hurt or something. Draymond Green's playing very well. Meanwhile, in Houston, James Harden has kind of changed his narrative a little bit of stepping up in big playoff games with bringing the Rockets back in the series, and really has been the best player in the series the last 2 games. Chris Paul stepped up, even though the stats aren't really there. PJ Tucker's brought some intensity defensively. Clint Capella's been better. Tough call here, but I said Warriors in 6. I'm sticking to that, but I'm not super about it. I think the Warriors win tonight, but the Rockets cover the 6. Give me a 3-point Warrior win. Let's just say 117-114. Meanwhile, score for the Celtics-Bucks game gave me $120 to $100. I think it's a bloodhound blowout in Milwaukee tonight. And all the rumors about Kyrie coming to New York are going to chirp. Now we'll move over to baseball. I'm just going to go over scores and winning pitcher, losing pitcher. White Sox over the Indians 2-0. White Sox are playing better. They're 16-18. Cleveland's 18-16. Lucas Giolito gets the win. He's 3-1. Jeffrey Rodriguez lost 0-2. Alex Colon gets the 7th save of the year. Giolito 7 in the third innings, 3 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts, ERA 4.06. Jeffrey Rodriguez 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 2.41. Yankees over the Mariners 5-4. This was just an incredible win for the Yankees. They had no business winning this game. I'll get to that in a second. Yanks are 21-14. Seattle's 19-19. Joseph Harvey gets his first big league win. He's 1-0. Anthony Swarzak gets a loss. He's 2-2. Mariners are up 4-1 at the end of 8. And then the Yankees, who are missing a ton of players with injuries, as we all know, just crawl back. Giovanni Urshela, who they picked up on the waiver wire last year and played in AAA for them last year, is on the big league team this year, hits a game-tying home run off of Swarzak at 4 apiece. Then the walk-off hit by DJ LeMahieu. Cam Maben scores the game-winning run. They win 5-4. What a rally by the Yankees, and I think Aaron Boone has to be the favorite for the American League Manager of the Year right now. I can't believe I'm saying that because I was critical of Boone last year, as well as many people in the media, because of his bullpen decision-making from a year ago and when to take starters out and whatnot, and just mistakes that rookie managers would normally make. But I think he's made some great adjustments in year 2. And really keeping this injury-riddled team together. He has to be the front-runner for the American League Manager of the Year right now. Meanwhile, Masahiro Tanaka, 6 in the third innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 3.77. Marco Gonzalez, 6 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, 3 strikeouts, ERA 3.08. Red Sox over the Orioles 8-5, Boston's 18-19, Baltimore's 13-23. Marcus Walden gets the win, he's 5-0. Brandon Klein, the loss 1-1. Matt Barnes gets his 3rd save of the season. Hector Velasquez, 3 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, a walk, no strikeouts, ERA 4.03. Walden, by the way, 3 innings, 2 hits, an earned run, no walks, 3 strikeouts, ERA 1.77. He's been a revelation for Boston. David has 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 5.5. Pirates over the Rangers 5-4. The Pirates are 17-15. Texas is 16-17. Michael Feliz gets the win. He's 2-0. Adrian Sampson, the loss, 0-2. Felipe Vasquez, 10th save of the year. Stephen Brault started. 4 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 7.11. Adrian Sampson, 5 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 4.41. Twins over the Blue Jays, 3-0. Twins are 22-12. Toronto's 15-21. Jose Barrios gets the win. He's 6-1. Aaron Sanchez, the loss, 3-3. Trevor Rogers gets his 4th save of the season. Jose Barrios, 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, no walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 2.53. He's really breaking out this year. Aaron Sanchez, 7 innings, 6 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 3.21. Angels over the Tigers 5-2. The Angels are 16-19. The Tigers are 15-17. This was, by the way, Brad Ausmus's return to Detroit as Angels manager, so there's a little intrigue there. Griffin Canning gets his first big league win. He's 1-0. Daniel Norris, the loss, 1-1. Hansel Robles gets his 3rd save of the season. Griffin Canning, 5 in the third innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, a walk, 7 strikeouts, ERA 4.66. Daniel Norris, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA 3.81. Rays over the Diamondbacks 6-3. The Rays are 23-12. Arizona's 20-16. Jalen Beeks the win, 2-0. Taylor Clark the loss, 0-1. Ryan Stanek was the opener, 2 innings, a hit, no earned runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts, ERA 2.5. Beeks out of the pen, 3 in the third innings, 3 hits and a run, no walks, 3 strikeouts, ERA 3.48. Taylor Clark, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts, ERA of 2. Brewers over the Nationals 6-0. The Brewers are 22-16. Washington 14-21. Freddie Peralta the win, 2-1. Steven Strasburg the loss, 3-2. Adrian Hauser was sort of their opener. 2 innings, 2 hits, no runs, a walk, and 4 strikeouts, ERA 6.14. Peralta out of the pen, 5 innings, 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 6.75. Steven Strasburg, 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, 11 strikeouts, ERA 3.71. Phillies over the Cardinals, 11-1. The Phils are 20-15. The Cards are 21-15. Aaron Nola gets the win. He's 3-0. Dakota Hudson the loss, 2-3. Aaron Nola, 6 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, 7 strikeouts, ERA 4.57. He looks like his old self. Meanwhile, Dakota Hudson, 5 innings, 7 hits, 2 runs, 3 extra strikeouts, ERA 4.63. Cubs over the Marlins 5-2. Cubs are 20-13. Miami's 10-25. Steven Chiswick the win 1-1. Adam Conley the loss 1-4. This game ended on a walk-off homer by Chris Bryant. He's been red hot. John Lester, 6 innings, 8 hits, no one runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 1.41. He's turning back the clock this year. Caleb Smith, meanwhile, 6 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 11 strikeouts, ERA 2.11. Royals over to Astros 12-2. That's an impressive win for KC. They're 13-24. Houston 21-15. Danny Duffy to win 1-1. Colin McHugh the loss 3-4. Danny Duffy 6 2/3 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 3.06. The Astros had an opener. Tyler White pitched an inning, struck out a batter, and walked the batter. Colin McHugh 3 innings, 7 hits, 8 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, ERA 6.37. Giants over the Rockies 14-4. San Francisco 16-20. Colorado 16-20. Madison Bumgarner gets the win. He's 2-4. Antonio Sensala 2-2. Madison Bumgarner 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 earned runs, a walk, 8 strikeouts, ERA 3.99. He's starting to look like himself. Antonio Sensala 4 2/3 innings, 8 hits, 7 earned runs, a walk, 3 strikeouts, ERA 5.67. Athletics over the Reds 2-0. Story of this game is that Mike Fiers threw a no-hitter. Oakland goes to 16-21. Cincinnati drops to 15-21. Fiers gets the win 3-3. Tyler Mahle drops to 0-5. Fiers, the complete game no-hitter with 2 walks and 6 strikeouts, ERA 5.48 on the year. Tyler Mahle, 6 innings, 3 hits, an earned run, a walk, and 8 strikeouts, ERA 3.69. Dodgers over the Braves 9-0. The Dodgers are 24-14. Atlanta's 18-18. Heejin Ryu gets the win. He's 4-1. Max Fried lost 4-2. Heejin Ryu, the complete game, 4 innings, no earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts, ERA 2.03. Max Fried only lasted 1 inning. 4 hits, 4 earned runs, a walk, and a strikeout, ERA 2.97. He was not himself at all in that game. Mets over the Padres 7-6. Good come from behind win for the Mets. They're 17-19. San Diego is 20-17. Seth Lugo to win 2-0. Adam Warren the loss 2-1. Edwin Diaz gets his 9th save of the year. Peter Alonso hit the go-ahead homer in this game that gave the Mets the lead. He pretty much called the team out yesterday and said it was a must-win game yesterday. He owned up to his statement. He hit the home run that won them the game pretty much. And good job by Alonso and the Mets. Noah Syndergaard, 6 innings, 9 hits, 4 runs, a walk, 5 strikeouts, ERA 5.14. Meanwhile, Cal Quantrill, 4 1/3 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 5 strikeouts, ERA 3.6. Couple games underway. Rangers, Pirates, Diamondbacks, Rays, Nationals, Brewers, and Phillies, Cards. 3:40, you have the Mets and the Padres. Again, Wilmer Font making his Mets debut against Matthew Strom. Strom 1-2 with the 3.03 ERA. 6 o'clock, White Sox, Indians. You have Reynaldo Lopez and Shane Bieber. Lopez 2-4 with the 6.69. Bieber 2-1 with the 3.16. 6:30, ESPN, Mariners, Yankees. Yusei Kikuchi against Jonathan Loáisiga. Kikuchi 1-1 with the 3.98. Loáisiga 1-0 with the 2.7. I'm going to take the Mariners here on the road, even though that they're coming off perhaps their most heartbreaking loss of the year. A game they had no business losing by any stretch. They had that game in hand, but their bullpen coughed it up, and they really just haven't played well of late. I just think that it's hard to sweep a 4-game set. The Yankees are riddled with injuries. Jonathan Loáisiga is a nice pitcher, but to me he's more of a middle rotation guy long-term, or he'll probably be a trade asset for them. But Kikuchi's shown signs. The Yankees have never seen Kikuchi pitch before. I could see him pitching very well and leading Seattle to a nice road victory on national TV. So give me the Mariners on the road here to get the victory. 7 o'clock, the Red Sox and the Orioles. Chris Sale and Andrew Cashner. Sale 1-5 with the 5.25. Cashner 4-1 with the 4.71. Twins, Blue Jays. Kyle Gibson and Trent Thornton. Gibson 2-1 with the 4.68. Thornton 0-3 with the 4.08. Angels, Tigers. You have Tyler Skaggs and Matt Boyd. Skaggs 3-2 with the 3.12. Boyd 3-2 with the 3.05. 7:30, Marlins, Cubs. Jose Urena and Kyle Hendricks. Urena 1-5 with the 5.45. Hendricks 2-4 with the 3.93. 8 o'clock, Royals Astros. Jorge Lopez and Brad Peacock. Lopez 0-3 with a 5.09. Peacock 2-2 with a 5.28. 8:40, Giants Rockies. Derek Holland and John Gray. Holland 1-4 with a 5.34. Gray 3-3 with a 4.22. 10 o'clock, Reds Athletics. Sonny Gray and Brian Anderson. Gray 0-4 with a 3.89. Brett Anderson 4-2 with a 3.85. The intrigue of this game is that Sonny Gray makes his return to Oakland. And Braves Dodgers, you have Mike Foltynewicz and Clayton Kershaw. Foltynewicz 0-1 with a 5.06. Kershaw 1-0 with a 2.77. Now I'm going to do my MLB mock draft, my first one of the season. And this is obviously a hard thing to do, making these mock drafts, because you really don't know where the player's going to be drafted. The baseball one's always the toughest out of the four sports, I got to admit that. But the first one's always like a feeling out process, and then as we get closer to the draft, the players and the teams that are interested in what players start to get leakier within the media. Without further ado, here we go. Number 1, Baltimore Orioles, Adley Rutschman, catcher, Oregon State. Rutschman is the heavy favorite to go first overall, according to many people in the industry. He would immediately become the Orioles catcher of the future, and he could get to the big leagues faster than a lot of folks think due to his switch hitting ability, and he provides a lot of power. 2, the Kansas City Royals, Bobby Witt Jr., shortstop, Colleyville Heritage High School, Texas. The Royals are a team that wants top-tier talent to build around and in their system. Enter Witt, who is a 5-tool prospect that hits for a ton of power and projects to be a shortstop long-term, and he would immediately become the Royals' top prospect. 3, the Chicago White Sox. C.J. Abrams, shortstop, Blessed Trinity High School, California. The White Sox have options with this choice. They decided to go with the middle infielder with Abrams, who is one of the best hitters and athletes in this draft. If it doesn't work out for him as a middle infielder, then he could work out in center field. 4, Miami Marlins. Andrew Vaughn, first baseman, California. The Marlins are a team that lacks college position players in their system. Vaughn is arguably the best all-around hitter in this draft, and he could go third to the White Sox, potentially. If Vaughn falls here, it's a major win for the Marlins, as they finally have a possible franchise guy. 5, Detroit Tigers. Riley Green, outfielder, Haggerty High School in Florida. Green is the best high school hitter in the draft, and the Tigers could snag him here. They could go with the college hitter here, but they settle on Green here, who is below average defensively. That could end up being a long-term DH. 6, San Diego Padres. J.J. Bleday, outfielder, Vanderbilt. The Padres went with lefty pitchers the last few years, but this time they go with a college position player. Bleday is somebody that scouts thought had some power to go with his bat, and he's displayed it this year in college. 7, Cincinnati Reds. Nick Lodolo, left-handed pitcher, TCU. The Reds have a farm system that's loaded with hitters and high school pitchers, but it lacks collegiate arms. Lodolo is the first pitcher taken off the board, as he's the best pitcher in the draft, and he's somebody that has 3 good pitches. 8, the Texas Rangers. Hunter Bishop, outfielder, Arizona State. The Rangers system lacks college hitters, and they take one here in Bishop. The Orioles apparently like him too, but taking him number 1 overall is a bit of a stretch. Bishop is somebody whose stock has risen from the start of the season to put him in this position. 9, Atlanta Braves. It's a compensation pick because their first-round pick last year, Carter Stewart, failed to sign. Shea Langellers, catcher, Baylor. If it weren't for Adley Rutschman, Langellers would have been the best catcher in this draft. He doesn't have Rutschman's offensive upside, but he's one of the best defensive catchers of the last decade, and he is hitting better this spring despite a broken hamate that sidelined him for just 3 weeks. 10, San Francisco Giants. Jackson Rutledge, right-handed pitcher, San Jacinto, Texas. The Giants have been taking college prospects the past few seasons, and this time around with the new front office, they settle on a high school arm in Rutledge. He's shown high velocity and as an analytics darling, and that's something that the Giants would like. 11, Toronto Blue Jays. Bryson Stott, shortstop, UNLV. The Blue Jays should go with the best player available at this point, and Stott would be the choice. He has a lot of upside and good bat-to-ball skills for a middle infielder. Don't rule out a possibility of them going with a pitcher, though. 12. New York Mets. Corbin Carroll, outfielder, Lakewood High School, California. Carroll is somebody that can rake, and the Mets need some more high school position players in their system. He has a nice lefty swing and can hit to all fields, but lacks physicality. 13. Minnesota Twins. Zach Thompson, left-handed pitcher, Kentucky. The Twin system is one that lacks college arms, and Thompson is one of the better ones in this draft. If it weren't for injury concerns, he'd go in the top 10 of this draft, but he has put together a great year to put him in this position. 14. Philadelphia Phillies. Matthew Allen, right-handed pitcher, Seminole High School, Florida. The Phillies have drafted a lot of position players in the first round the past few seasons, but this time around they take a high school arm in Allen. Scouts love his curveball and fastball, but if he falls far, then he may be heading to college rather than the pros. 15. Los Angeles Angels. Alek Manoah, right-handed pitcher, West Virginia. The irony here is that Eric Manoah, the brother of Alek, is in the Angel system. Manoah is the best college righty pitcher in the draft, and he's somebody that has improved his walk rate from last year to this year. 16. Arizona Diamondbacks. Quinn Priester, right-handed pitcher, Cary Grove High School, Illinois. The Diamondbacks are a team that, if Matthew Allen falls to them, they take him. But instead they go with another high school righty in Priester. He is somebody that is one of the fast risers of the spring and has a great curveball. 17. Washington Nationals. George Kirby, right-handed pitcher, Olan. The lack of college arms that are in the first round will push guys like Kirby up draft boards. He is somebody that is a great strike thrower, and he led the country in strikeout-walk ratio to back it up. 18. Pittsburgh Pirates. Logan Davidson, shortstop, Clemson. The Pirates are a team that's taken chances on high school guys a ton the past few years. Here, they take a college position player in Davidson, who's a switch-hitting shortstop that plays good defense and runs the base as well, too. 19. St. Louis Cardinals. Cameron Minsner, outfielder, Missouri. Misner is the college prospect with the best tools package among college position players. He has a good lefty swing and significant power potential, plus he's drawn praise for his makeup and work ethic, but there are lingering concerns about his ability to make consistent contact at the upper levels. 20. Seattle Mariners. Josh Jung, third baseman, Texas Tech. Jung is somebody that was thought out to be a top 10 or even top 5 pick prior to this season. He's having a down year by his standards, but is still producing solid numbers, and he's worth a first-round pick due to his past success. 21. Atlanta Braves. Brennan Malone, right-handed pitcher, IMG Academy, Florida. The Braves go with the high school arm with their second first-round choice. Malone is somebody that displays 4 good pitches, and I wouldn't rule him out going 9th to the Braves or between 10 and 15. 22. Tampa Bay Rays. Brett Beatty, third baseman, Lake Travis High School, Texas. Beatty is somebody with tremendous upside and possibly could go higher than this. Some scouts believe he's the best high school hitter, not Riley Green, as he's also shown to hit for average and power. There are teams that won't touch him in the first round because of his age, while others don't think he'll last 20 picks. 23. Colorado Rockies. Michael Busch, first baseman, outfielder, North Carolina. Busch is somebody that is very polished and mature as a hitter, but he doesn't have a clear position. Many people think he'll be a first baseman, and he's somebody that hits for a lot of power. 24. Cleveland Indians. Braden Shoemake, shortstop, Texas A&M. The Indians decided to go with the college position player in Shoemake. He's a grinder who is greater than the sum of the parts and has outstanding hand-eye coordination and rarely strikes out, and he'll pepper the ball at all fields. 25. Los Angeles Dodgers. Daniel Espino, right-handed pitcher, Georgia Premier Academy. With the first of 2 first-round picks, the Dodgers go with a high school righty with a ton of upside in Espino. He offers plenty of good pitches and has big velocity and spin rate. 26. Arizona Diamondbacks. It's a compensation pick because they failed to sign their first-round pick from a year ago. Jack Leiter, right-handed pitcher, Brayton High School, New Jersey. We all know Jack's father, Al, who is a great major league pitcher in his prime. Jack is somebody that has a chance to go pro if he's drafted this high. Leiter's fastball isn't the best, but his curveball is among the best in the draft class, and his changeup and command are good as well. 27, Chicago Cubs. Seth Johnson, right-handed pitcher, Campbell. The Cubs are a team that's drafted some college pitching the last few years, but their developments aren't going as strong as they'd hoped. Johnson does not have that much experience, but is very polished and has swing and miss stuff. 28, Milwaukee Brewers. Reese Hins, third baseman, IMG Academy, Florida. The Brewers have hit on some high school hitters the past few years, with an example being Keston Hiura. Hins has as much raw power as anybody in the draft, although there are swing and miss concerns too. 29, Oakland Athletics. Will Wilson, shortstop, NC State. The A system is very pitching friendly as well as international position player friendly. Wilson is not the sexiest pick, but in the draft that locks quality middle infielders, the A snagged one here at Wilson, who's a righty hitter that has struck out more than he's walked, and that normally doesn't happen with first-round picks. 30, New York Yankees. Cody Hose, third baseman, Tulane. The Yankee system lacks college position players, so they take one here with Hose. He's somebody that's improved his power game tremendously, which has risen his draft stock. 31, Los Angeles Dodgers. This is a compensation pick because they failed to sign their first-round pick from a year ago. Tyler Callahan, third baseman, Providence High School in Florida. Callahan profiles similar to Brett Beatty due to his being old for his high school class. He's somebody that's worth a first-round pick due to the fact that he could flat-out hit. 32, Houston Astros. J.J. Ghost, right-handed pitcher, Cypress Ranch High School, Texas. The Astros have hit jackpot on high school pitching of late, with the latest example being Forrest Whitley. Goss is somebody that has similar raw tools to Whitley, and he has a great curveball and slider and would slide right into the Astros collection of good young pitching prospects. 33, Arizona Diamondbacks. This is a compensation pick for them not re-signing Patrick Corbin. Keone Cavaco, third baseman, East Lake High School, California. The Diamondbacks go with the high school bat with their second of 3 compensation picks. Cavaco is somebody that can go higher than this, and he's having a breakout season, and scouts really like his power. 34, Arizona Diamondbacks. This is another compensation pick. This is the one because they failed to re-sign A.J. Pollock. Maurice Hampton, outfielder, Memphis University High School in Tennessee. Hampton is somebody that's committed to playing both baseball and football at LSU, and it would take a big offer from somebody to pry him away from college to play pro ball. If he refines his tools in center field, assuming he goes baseball, he could be a 25 homer, 25 stolen base type of player. Now on to my best bet, presented by DraftKings. Last night I lost because the Portland Trailblazers did not come through for me, and neither did the Houston Astros. So, without further ado, here we go. I'm going to go with the Sharks tonight. I'm going to go with the Bucks. I'm going to go with the Warriors. I am also going to go to baseball and take the Cleveland Indians because I really like Shane Bieber. I like how the Red Sox are playing, so I'm just going to take them. I'm going to go with the Cubs and Kyle Hendricks. Astros bounce back and win. And I'm going to go with the Dodgers and Clayton Kershaw. So that's 8. That is $18.35 odds. Wagering $1 payout, $19.34. That's it for the podcast today. I'll be back tomorrow recapping Stanley Cup playoff game 7 between the Sharks and the Avs. The NBA playoff games. Look ahead to tomorrow's games and same for baseball. And we'll also do my second NBA mock draft. I hope you guys have a great day, everyone.